Okay. Good evening, everyone. So today we will discuss about the next Lucy poem. After discussing the poem, we will start the practice. So if you have already practiced or if you have already prepared this poem, so just attempt the questions so that it will be perfect preparation for your upcoming SLST exam. Okay, I will explain the whole the poem in a simple way. I will not explain line by line. Better, I will give you as a summary. So the poem 3 years she grew, sun and shout by William Wordsworth. This poem published in 1800 in the second edition of Lyrical Ballad, and this is a collection of Lucy poems, one of most famous Lucy poem. This is, and the form of this poem is a 7 stanza and each has 6 lines. As you can see, this is the first stanza and it has 6 lines, and the rhyme scheme of this poem is A B C B, and it is written in iambic tetrameter. Okay, and the tone of the poem is calm, philosophical, elegiac, mournful yet accepting. Sadness is in the poem. Okay, and at the end, the poet accepting the sadness or the reality. If we say about the whole poem, so we can explain the poem by saying Lucy, the girl, grows under natural condition, grows under natural conditions. Nature personified here, and nature speaks and claims Lucy as her own to save her. The tone is mystical and maternal in the poem. Nature vows to raise Lucy to be noble, calm, and in time or in tune with the natural beauty. Nature will educate Lucy through wild beauty, that is meadows and mountains, quiet wisdom, that is a secret groves, balance of strength and grace. Lucy becomes one with nature, shaped by it emotionally, physically, and spiritually. Nature is both a mentor and mother figure. It offers emotional, nurturing, and ideal companionship. A sudden shift from philosophical beauty to personal grief. Lucy is dead, leaving the speaker with the only memory and landscape. The poem ends in a gentle mourning, accepting her death as part of nature's plan. The theme of the poem is nature as a nurturer, innocence and growth, life and death, loss and memory, romantic ideal of nature. And in this poem, some poetic device is used, such as personification, this child I to myself will take, and alliteration, sun and shower, simile, sportive as a fawn, symbolism, Lucy as a natural purity, and nature as a divine educator. Contrast in this poem, contrast between growth and death, vitality and stillness. Next, irony. Nature promises a long, rich life, but Lucy dies young. Lucy lives for 3 years, then nature claims her. Metaphor for early death. Nature teaches her through natural beauty and peace. Tone shifts from philosophical to elegiac in the final stanza. Celebrates in this poem, the poet celebrates romantic ideals, nature, innocence, spirituality, emotional reflection. Poem blends growth, that is life, and termination, that is death, in a single cycle. And here started the question answer for practicing this poem. The first question is, What does the nature decide to do with Lucy? The answer will be take her as her own. Option B. What does nature promise Lucy in the poem? What does nature promise Lucy in the poem? The answer will be growth in harmony. Option C. The poem describes Lucy's what? In this poem, the poet or the poem describes Lucy's death and transformation. What is Lucy's relation to nature in the poem? So, what is the relation to nature in the poem? Lucy's relation to nature in the poem. It's adopted daughter. Adopted daughter. Which phrase shows Lucy's integration with nature? Which phrase shows Lucy's integration with nature? The phrase is she shall be sportive as fawn. This shows Lucy's integration with nature. What does nature promise Lucy will gain? What does nature promise Lucy will gain? A noble heart and cheerful spirit. Option C. What happens to Lucy in the end? What happens to Lucy in the end? She dies. At the end, Lucy dies. The mood of the ending is mournful yet peaceful. Mournful means sadness, peaceful. Okay. The poem reflects Wordsworth's belief in. The poem reflects Wordsworth's belief in nature as moral force. Option D. What type of poetic device is used in sun and shower? The first letter S, here also S. It's a repetition of consonant sound. That's why it is alliteration. Who is the main speaker at the beginning of the poem? Who is the main speaker at the beginning of the poem? It's nature itself. What decision does nature make about Lucy? To mold her as her own. The phrase 3 years she grew in sun and shower. What does it mean? It's a natural development. It implies natural development. 3 years she grew in sun and shower. Sun and shower means it's a natural development. What does the nature promise to give Lucy? Grace and form. Grace and form. What type of poem is this? What type of poem is this? This is a elegiac lyric. Nature intends Lucy to live. Nature intends Lucy to live. Close to nature. Close to nature with quiet dignity. Option C. What will Lucy be sportive as? Sportive as a fawn. So to attempt this type of question, you need to read the poem. What will Lucy follow in the woods? What will Lucy follow in the woods? The laws of nature. Option C. The laws of nature. And beauty born of murmuring sound refers to and beauty born of murmuring sound refers to what? It refers to the harmony between Lucy and nature. The harmony between Lucy and nature. Nature becomes Lucy's guardian and shaper. Guardian and shaper. Nature shape her, guide her. What does the sun and shower symbolize? What does the sun and shower symbolize? It symbolizes a daily growth and nurturing forces. How long does nature tend Lucy before taking her? It's a 3 year. She grew in sun and shower. In the poem, the answer is given, the title itself. Lucy is promised, Lucy is promised a spirit that disturbs not the quiet of the land. This means, what does it mean? It means she will cause no harm. She will cause no harm. What is the speaker's tone in the final stanza? Peaceful and mournful. Peaceful and mournful. What eventually happens to Lucy? What eventually happens to Lucy? She dies. At the end of the poem, Lucy dies. The poem suggests that nature's care for Lucy was sincere but fated. Sincere but fated. What happens after Lucy is gone to dwell with nature? The speaker is left in sorrow. What is nature's mood while speaking? What is nature's mood while speaking? Loving and maternal. Lucy's relationship with nature is portrayed as harmonious and sacred. She shall lean her ear in many a secret place. It shows what? It shows Lucy will listen to nature's secret. What is the effect of personifying nature? Shows nature as moral guide. Shows nature as moral guide. How does the poem reflect romantic ideals? How does the poem reflect romantic ideals? It emphasizes the power of nature and emotion. The phrase "then nature said" marks a shift in voice and perspective. Voice and perspective. What does the speaker gain from Lucy's fate? Permanent sorrow. Permanent sorrow. What poetic device is used in the floating sound their state shall lend? Which poetic device is used here? The floating clouds their state shall lend. It's a personification. What is personification? When we give the quality of human being to inanimate object or in a non-living being, that is personification. She shall be sportive as the fawn. It is an example of simile because here the as is used, and in simile two unlike things are compared by using as or like. Grace that shall mold the maiden's form emphasizes its a physical and moral beauty shaped by nature. Physical and moral beauty shaped by nature. The poem ends with the speaker's mourning and reflection. How does the speaker view Lucy's death? As nature mysterious plan. Lucy is seen as a part of the natural cycle. The clouds, their state self lend implies nature's elements will shape Lucy's soul. The poem suggests nature's offers a protection and tragedy. A protection and tragedy. The word mold in the poem means it means shape and form. Shape and form. The speaker's love for Lucy is revealed through. The speaker's love for Lucy is revealed through emotional tribute. The poem imagines nature as loving teacher. Which feeling is dominant in the final stanza? Which feeling is dominant in the final stanza? Peaceful grief. Nature promises Lucy will be a nursling of the sky. This suggests what? So this suggests she will die young and return to heavens. Option B. Which phrase suggests that Lucy's closeness to wild nature, sportive as the fawn. Nature's promises ultimately led to nature promises ultimately led to option B. Lucy's transformation and death. What contrast is present in the poem structure? What contrast is present in the poem structure? Contrast, I discussed it. What contrast? It's a nature nurturing versus nature taking. Nature nurturing versus nature taking. That is contrast mentioned in the poem. The poem reflects on the death as peaceful return to nature. The use of her grave I visited or grave I visited in the final stanza creates a tender personal closure. Nature claims Lucy will have that kind of spirit, a cheerful, noble one. Option B. With rocks and stones and trees is used to show Lucy's integration with nature. The structure of the poem is mostly made up of ballad quatrains. Option B. The line the line she shall lean her ear in many a secret place shows nature's sharing of its mysteries. Sharing of its mysteries. The final realization of the speaker is option B. Lucy lives on through nature. She died and left to me. This calm and quiet scene reflects memory, memory and loss through nature. Memory and loss through nature. The poem shows that the nature is a comfort and destroyer? Option A. What does the speaker remember most about Lucy? Her harmony with nature. We have completed this poem, and next day we'll start A Slumber Did My Spirit Still. Okay, there is also more than 50 question is there, 50 more than 50 MCQ is there. So if you would like to practice, so wait for the next video, and for that you can subscribe my channel. If you like this session, you can like this video also, and if you need this PDF, so you can uh, take it from the Telegram channel. Okay, thank you everyone.